achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over...
You know what it is, Truth Nation? Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
The best way to start your day. Cutting through the noise and bringing you the real stories behind the headlines.
Talk to someone about how you feel. Do not internalize it. Do not consume it. You deserve to be heard.
It's time to wake up with Milwaukee's favorite morning show.
It's not just we canceled it, it's over, it's a done deal. Shouldn't be that way. That program still should proceed, no matter how a few may go.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee.
Telly, we're on the watch for it. Where the brother's gonna be? I just want to see what she was gonna do.
This is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Here are your hosts, the effective communication coach Denise Thomas and two-time Emmy Award winner Telly Hughes.
Oh, trust me. I'll be in that seat tomorrow, Telly. I'll be in that seat tomorrow. You know, it was a little brief. DT will be back. Good morning, Truth Nation. Happy Monday. You know, I know it's going to be a great week because when you have Kyle Wallace, the director of content, serving as our producer today, that shows his leadership is not one-dimensional. He's a versatile leader. So, y'all, we got Kyle Wallace in the building this morning. Good morning, Telly.
Good morning, DT. How are you?
I'm great. I'm wonderful. No complaints.
How was your weekend?
Man, it was. I can't remember. Oh, so Friday, you know, I was on assignment, and for Real Truth Nation, you know how we have those days where it's just you feel like you worked 16 of the 24 hours. So I literally hosted a virtual women's summit for 12 hours. And then I had maybe like an hour and a half break. And I facilitated another session for an organization out in Portland. And you know, they're on, what do you call it, Telly? Pacific time?
Pacific time, yes.
So this is a Friday and it's like 4 to 6 their time. I'm working 6 to 8 on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to get up in the morning and I flew back to Dallas and I slept all day long. You hear me, brother? I slept I landed and I got home around 10:30. I slept from 10:30 to about 2:30 in the afternoon. I woke up, I ate, and I went right back to sleep around 4:30, and I didn't get up until 6 o'clock the following morning, Sunday morning. And then I came back here to Wisconsin. Yeah, so.
Wow.
I was truly on assignment this weekend.
I think it's one of those weekends. I feel like I had the same thing. It's kind of like you went out and partied, but you know you're too old to be partying the way that you used to. Are you still recovering? I feel like I'm recovering, but the party part didn't happen. It was just a long weekend on top. I won't say long, but just a busy weekend. And then you throw in the clocks being boosted up an hour.
Man.
It has hit me harder this year than I think in the last 10 years, this whole spring forward thing, because I had a couple of volleyball tournaments this weekend. One Saturday, one Sunday. It's always a 2-day
I love
tournament.
how you say I had a couple. So Truth Nation, his daughter.
Yeah. Oh, I
He
ain't
was a
playing.
spectator.
I think they should know that. But you feel like you a participant where you got to get up at 5 in the morning and get them to Rockford, Illinois
Facts.
by 7. And yes, so
Facts.
so this was a weekend where I still feel like my body is saying, man, you're recovering. But when I look back, I'm like, I didn't kick it though. I didn't. There was no alcohol or anything that was involved in this weekend. Just a lot of driving and volleyball.
Well, I think probably for both of us, because we get up every morning very, very early, contrary, like we didn't do this before April 3rd of last year.
That is
I know I
very
didn't.
correct. You can speak for me on this one. I was not getting up consistently at 5:30.
No, ma'am. Like for real. Like I remember it was funny too, because if I did ever have to wake up at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning, it was a big deal. So Truth Nation, again, we are committed to each of you because we are here. Now, let me go ahead and get this off my chest. Did you watch the Oscars, or did you get a glimpse, or did you get any kind of recaps?
No. And I'm saying that so forcefully is because I never really watch them. And I was telling my wife this because she even said, don't you think you should probably watch the Oscars for your show tomorrow? I said, look, man, I can try. And I turned it on, and then you had this Asian cast that won, and they got up there. They could barely speak English. And then I flipped it over to the Lakers game, and then I went back, and it was a Russian cast that won, and English wasn't their first language either. I'm like, what is going on? And then before I know you have some reaction because I know this is your thing, but DT, it seems to me it's always about who didn't win. And that's the main stories that usually come out of these awards. It's, can you believe so-and-so didn't win or so-and-so didn't? And it's very little about the people that did win because it's almost as if they weren't deserving to win when you hear about the people that got snubbed or just flat out got robbed of a win. So, but that's my takeaway. But long answer short, no, I didn't watch any of it for real.
Okay. Yeah, that was a long answer. Telly. I was like, did you watch Oscars? No. And I saw an Asian. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to go there. So for me, it was funny because I was co-hosting with Dr. Ken at the WTMJ studio last night. We have I don't want to say every Sunday, but check us out. We're Sunday nights live in the WTMJ studio from 7 to 9. So we had, of course, on one of the big screens in the studio, the Oscars on. So we were watching it. We were kind of multitasking yesterday. Here's my assessment. Number one, let me start with my favorite subject, fashion. Every black person that I saw in attendance at the Oscars that, walked the red carpet, everybody looked incredible. Usually there's a or a whoo. Everybody that was black, as far as I was concerned, the fashion was phenomenal. Ariana Grande, she had me a little nervous because she's very petite. She's a very, petite artist. And she had on this very big dress, big gown. Now, moving on to the actual subject matter of being a thespian and demonstrating the best acting performance. There was one, I will say this, there was one where I said, oh, they got snubbed. But it was very complicated because the person who actually won did an incredible job. And, sometimes I feel like with Oscars, it's kind of like you won it for this movie, but this wasn't your best role. So when you think about Denzel Washington, when he won Best Actor for Training Day, come on now. That wasn't his best acting. Mm-hmm. And again, as I've said before, I find it interesting that the Academy will award Oscars to black folks when they are playing either a maid or a servant of some sort, or the help, or a drug addict. Like if you look at the roles that, and for example, like Denzel Washington, out of all the roles that he played, he wins Best Actor for being a crooked cop. So, you got to kind of look at how we win. Now, Robert Downey Jr. won Best Supporting Actor for his role in Oppenheimer. Now, have you seen Oppenheimer?
I have not.
You have to go see that movie, Telly. It's streaming now, so you can watch it from the luxury of your beautiful home with Mrs. Hughes. You have to watch Oppenheimer. It is one of the greatest films I've ever seen in my life. I've watched it 5 times now.
Wow.
And the reason why for me is because, I grew up in Evansville, Indiana. I went to public school. We didn't talk about, what do you call it? There's a title for that day of when they created and tested the nuclear bomb. The Massachusetts Project. Anyway, so I've watched Oppenheimer about 5 times. Thank you, Kyle. The Manhattan. Is it the Manhattan? Is it called the Manhattan? Yes, the Manhattan Project. We didn't study that. Well, you know what? We probably did tell, and I didn't pay attention that day.
It was right after Christopher Columbus.
Exactly. Now, as Black folks, a lot of us were probably that are into the performing arts, i.e. acting, we're cheering for American Fiction. So American Fiction received a number of nominations, including both Best Actor, Jeffrey Wright, and Best Supporting Actor, Sterling K. Brown, who played in the hit television show This Is Us. Both did not win. Both did not win for their roles in American Fiction. American Fiction walked away with 1 Oscar last night, and that was for Best Adapted Screenplay. Now,
what does that mean?
That means the script was dope.
Adaptive screenplay? Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's basically, to put it in, layman's terms, that means the script, they found that the script was incredibly dope, which it was.
Okay.
But however, Jeffrey Wright, so Oppenheimer crushed it. Oppenheimer won Best Actor, so Cillian Murphy, Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr. Jeffrey Wright was nominated for Best Actor. Our beloved brother, Jeffrey Wright. You talk about an incredible actor. The first time I was introduced to Jeffrey Wright, and I know he did many, many projects before, but do you remember Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the villain, the drug dealer?
Yeah, I remember.
That was Jeffrey Wright. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, God. Yeah, wow.
I didn't either. Now, we did have a Black female actress who walked away with an Oscar yesterday, and that was Divine Joy Randolph. So she won Best Supporting Actress for her role in the movie The Holdovers, which I have not seen. But it stars Paul Giamatti from the show Billions. Also, another snub that I thought was what's his name? Coleman Domingo in the movie Rustin. Did you see Rustin?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, Telly, we got to catch you up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the reason why I don't watch the Oscars, because there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Well, here's my assessment regarding the Oscars as it relates to The Truth. 2 years ago, we all know Will Smith walked up on stage and slapped Chris Rock. That year, the Academy had retained Will Packer and his entire production team to produce the Academy Awards that same year. And, it's funny that when, let's say, a white person does something that the general public deem as terrible or inappropriate, it's very individualistic. Like one white person does it, the whole entire white race does not get punished. It's very individual based. And I noticed that since Will Smith, who, by the way, had nothing to do with the production team, he was there as a guest who was being nominated for Best Actor.
A guest with an attitude.
Right. He was there for his role, King Richard, playing Serena and Venus Williams' father.
Which was
nothing
good.
to do. Yes, it was very good. Will Smith had nothing to do with Will Packer. Do you hear what I'm saying, Telly? Like, totally non-related. And I noticed that the Academy is basically operating like a number of non-black people do when it comes to us. If we do something, then that means all black people are just generalized. Like, why is Will Packer why did he not get re-invited the following year? Why didn't he get invited this year? Because at the end of the day, and if you look at from a optic standpoint, so to your point, Telly, the most of the front row of the Oscars were seated by Asian or Asian American people. Yeah. If you look at who is the president of the Academy, you take a guess. Asian woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at her for that because, quite frankly, Asian Americans have often been overlooked. But I will say this. I find it very disturbing that still in the year 2024, black people are being punished as a race when one of us does something inappropriate.
So that's like still being overlooked. And there was something that made me think of this as well. And this may seem like a crazy question or just kind of off the wall, but are there Oscars in other countries, Academy Awards, is there an Oscars in China?
No.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, are Americans or are we as represented in other countries for awards or things that we may do? Oh, okay.
Great questions, but the answer is no.
Gotcha.
That's a great question, but that's maybe kind of why we have the NAACP Image Awards. When we come back from break, speaking of inclusion, we're going to be talking about this morning the firing regents who voted against the DE&I deal. Now, of course, as we've talked about the UW system removing or eliminating DE&I from all of the schools as part of the University of Wisconsin. Also, we're going to be getting to another example, and we want to know, Truth Nation, if you regard this as cultural appropriation or cultural appreciation. We're going to get into a story regarding a black woman who, let's just say, may need our support. And then also from a local standpoint, Milwaukee Public Schools referendum. Should we vote to give the largest district in the state more money again? More of that and other hot topics. This is the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Thank you, Truth Nation. Your willingness to share your stories with our community has helped make the Tory Lowe Show a 2-time First Place Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Award winner.
Hey, I'm tapping in for the Milwaukee County Jail. Yeah, man, they treating us real bad up in here, man. I mean, they had us sleeping in feces and urine. They took the batteries from us, told us there wasn't no batteries in stock. I ain't never heard that in my life.
We do this all for you, Milwaukee. We are the award-winning 1017 The Truth, Milwaukee Black Talk.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so So we went out, created a program, launched it last year, 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
Garage doors giving you a headache? The best way I know to deal with it is to call my friends at Geis. Family owned since 1955, Geis is the trusted authority on garage doors and openers in southeastern Wisconsin. Trust me, I use them too. Geis has doors and openers for every budget and can even build custom designs to meet your exact preferences. For fast, reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com or call 262-784-4250.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
The moment you've been waiting for is here. Eagle Sports Range is officially open for action. It's Wisconsin's largest indoor range, offering unlimited range time in 40 lanes, which include 20 20-yard lanes and 20 50-yard lanes, and no reservations needed. Just show up and let the fun begin. With a staggering selection of 100 firearm rentals to use, every visit is a new adventure. Eagle Sports Range is also a go-to for education. Take advantage of their concealed carry classes and gun safety courses. Safety first, excitement second. Visit them out in Cudahy or online at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where education meets exhilaration.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. Check it out. See, the only thing you need to do right here is just nod your freaking head.
Okay, I like this music.
I ain't heard that in a minute.
Not just me and y'all genre.
Man.
Young
Bust the bus, of course.
I think I'm going to let this ride for about 10 more seconds. Somebody needs to hear this when they wake up this morning. Go on, Kyle, turn it up.
Just give it away. Yeah, here we go now. Tell me what you really want to do. Come here, man. Talk to me. Talk to me. You look like you can.
You know what? Actually, that is Telly, a good alarm ringer. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Waking up to this. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do it today.
You just don't want to wake up and get your heart rate going too fast too soon. You be like, yeah,
it's a shame what happened. It's a shame what happened to DT and Telly. What happened, man? Man, we found them on the ground. They thought they was 28 again.
They
got their feelings hurt real quick.
Turned up at 6:15 in the morning like they young.
Telly, stop. You know what? Since you said I could speak for you earlier, I'm gonna be on a roll here. Look, we in good shape for our age. Come on,
I would
now.
agree
we
with
work
that
out,
too.
We eat healthy, yeah. So we all right. Now, Telly, Truth Nation, y'all about to pay a $252 million bill. That's right, Truth Nation. If you are a Milwaukee taxpayer, you are about to pay potentially a $252 million bill. Now, in less than a month, y'all, the Milwaukee Public School system is going to ask voters, thousands of voters, to decide the future of MPS. What does that mean? Well, on the ballot in April, a referendum is calling to raise the revenue limits for MPS, Milwaukee Public Schools, by an increase of $252 million that ultimately would be paid for by Milwaukee taxpayers. And the school district says it's necessary. So you can literally right now, Telly, you can go to the Milwaukee Public Schools website, and they are basically saying that if you want the best education for your child in Milwaukee, in order to do that, teachers need better pay, staff needs better salaries, they've got to upgrade buildings, purchase updated textbooks, and keep pace with the new technologies. This is the highest in the history of the Milwaukee Public Schools. This is the highest increase ever. This is like the second highest in the history of the Milwaukee Public School existence. And so this would cost taxpayers an additional $432 if this referendum passes. How do you feel, Telly? And your wife is a teacher.
Yes. I have several close ties to MPS, and I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't say to them. And I think low key they know it as well. But this is going to be a really tough referendum to get passed. And I personally don't think voters are going to do it because if you live in Milwaukee and you're paying property taxes and you are I'm going to just keep it real, you're a middle-aged white guy that don't even have school-age children. You got grandkids that don't even live in the area. And the reason why I brought up race is because why am I going to be okay paying $450 extra dollars on my property taxes for these little black kids to go to school?
Now, you bring up some valid points, Telly. And I just want to emphasize that this is not the first referendum for MPS. So the first or the most recent was where voters approved an $87 million revenue limit increase in 2020. So this referendum was not the first. And the last time that this was done in 2020, again, $87 million revenue limit increase, a lot of the arguments were very similar to yours, Telly. So, for example, in addition to property taxes, as you had brought up, there's a lot of folks in Milwaukee that are retired and that are on a fixed income. So every time you increase taxes, people, either they have to go back to the board and totally, calibrate their budget.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a significant amount of money. Now, here's the interesting part, Telly. Parents of Milwaukee Public School students are in support typically. So when you think about the voters that approved this last time in 2020, it was a lot of parents, because what ultimately is happening is they're having to lay off teachers while increasing the number of students in a class, cutting, which hurts my heart, arts programs, whether it's performance or visual. And when you look at what taxes are designed to do, for me, if this is in regards to the quality of education that is provided at no cost, like I shouldn't have to send my child to a private school to have consistent access to high quality education. So for me, I'm for it. I'm for it. And I understand that, there's a lot of people who are like, look, I don't have kids that go into school. So this is hard for me. But regardless, for me, if you don't have two students that attend MPS and you live in Milwaukee, this is our future.
Yeah.
This is our future. And so statewide, there will be more than 90 school referendums on the April 2nd ballot. Truth Nation, how are you feeling about this?
Yes.
Are you yay or nay for this referendum? Because again, the average Milwaukee tax-paying citizen is going to see, or let me say that differently, the Milwaukee tax-paying citizen is going to see an average increase of about $432 a year.
Yeah.
So divide that up by 12 and add that up, and yeah.
Yeah. And again, Truth Nation, let us know what you think. 833-212-1017. You can always stream and watch us live on YouTube and Twitter at 101.7 The Truth and 101.7thetruth.com. I think, DT, another thing that I want Truth Nation to take into consideration before weighing in is, why does it always have to get to this point? Because I'm sure before now they knew it was trending this way where it'll reach a point where we would have to get a referendum passed in order for teachers to keep their jobs. That's the part that really, really bothers me, is how many people, how many teachers and other administrators will be affected by this, and they didn't ask to be in this position. And you're telling me that on top of more students in classrooms, I mean, you're at a point now where you have anywhere between 35 to 38 students per classroom, per teacher. And that's really tough for one teacher to get around and make sure all the needs of those students are being met. But you're saying, and here comes the threat, just like when it was time to boost up the tax rate in Milwaukee. It was the city is going to go over a financial cliff. And now you get another one. If we don't pass this $252 million referendum, then teachers that are already underpaid are about to lose their jobs, and other things are going to be affected. Most importantly, the students within MPS. So it's a real situation, and you can kind of see both sides. But again, I think there has to be better jobs or better ways or better tactics that are put in place to not reach this point.
Well, Telly, the people have spoken. So 4,700 respondents that were surveyed about this upcoming referendum, which will be on the April 2nd ballot, disagree with you. 70% of the respondents were in favor of a referendum.
That's great if they can get it passed. Yeah, absolutely. But
16% of respondents say they might be in favor, and 14% said they would not support. Now, the survey respondents represented the following groups. 49% of respondents were identified as a parent or guardian of a current MPS student. 35% of respondents identified as current MPS staff. So you've got like almost 90% of the respondents to the survey regarding this referendum approving, which, if you think about it, either I have a child in MPS or I work for MPS. So I am all about this. And here's the thing. They live and eat and sleep and breathe it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, in terms of what this will cost and how it will affect taxpayers, is that each student, and this, again, this is what this is based on the data listed on the MPS website. So this information is accessible to anyone by visiting the mps.milwaukee.k12.wi.us site. That's a mouthful, I know. So students are going to benefit from an additional $252 million in school funding over 4 years. Now, to your point, Telly, how did we get here? I mean, anytime where you have referendums that require an increase, and again, I don't know. I'm not in the rooms, but I'm going to assume that there was some type of logic that we just can't ask for like $500 billion all at once, so we're going to do these in phases. I think the logic was, we know how much money that we would need in order to really be able to have quality education. So we're going to do this in phases.
Now, the 80, what happened in 2020? Did the district get 87 million?
So in 2020, which was the last time the Milwaukee Public School had a referendum, the taxpayers approved $87 million, which was phased in over 4 years. So now we're at the fourth year, 2024.
Oh, okay.
And this current year, there was $3 million extra in funding. So that was the last year of the 2020 phase for that referendum. So now we're in a new phase, 2024, where they're asking for $252 million over a 4-year phase again.
Oh, another 4-year phase.
Yeah.
Marte hit us up on the True Talk to Text line and says taxpayers are not bottomless piggy banks. So,
well, there you have it.
He clearly
Marte's
wasn't
like,
part of that survey.
Right. Marte's like, I'm not feeling this.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Well, and let me ask you this, Marte, if you're still listening, and thank you for your input. I agree with you. Taxpayers are not bottomless piggy banks. However, how do you feel about this referendum going towards improving the quality of public education in the city of Milwaukee.
And then also think about this as well. It wasn't that long ago where there was a referendum about keeping the Brewers in Milwaukee, and that was going to cost. So what are we really
proud? Like what, 25 cents? It wasn't that big of a deal.
No, it wasn't that big. I think that was just the tickets, though. But I think the taxpayers are paying something to keep the Brewers because they broke it down where the team will pay, the players will pay extra taxes, and it was something with the community. My point in saying this is, where are our priorities? If it's that important to keep the Brewers in Milwaukee, don't you think it's really important to keep as many teachers in the school district as possible to make sure that education is being pushed along in the right way and no one is really being left behind besides it just being a slogan?
That's a great question. When we come back from break, let's answer that, and we'll give some more information in terms of how this funding will be spent according to Milwaukee Public School. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The award-winning 101.7 The Truth proudly celebrates Women's History Month. Listen to one of our incredible Truth teammates highlight the remarkable achievements of Black women throughout history.
Hi, this is Bailey Coleman from the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. For Women's History Month, I want to highlight the woman known as the mother of Black Hollywood, Jennifer Lewis, for the incredible impact she's had on stage and screen for the African-American culture. Now, Jennifer is known for her more than 300 appearances for film, television, stage, and cabaret, performing comedy and drama as an unforgettable lead or a scene-stealing supporting character. Jennifer has established herself as one of the most respected, admired, talented, and celebrated entertainers working today. These days, you may know her best as the hilarious mother of actor Anthony Anderson on the top-rated comedy Blackish. However, Jennifer earned her title as Mother of Black Hollywood by playing the role of Mama to some of Black Hollywood's biggest stars, including Whitney Houston, Tupac Shakur, Taraji P. Henson, and more. Jennifer Lewis has been honored with a host of awards for her work in numerous television shows and films, including the Emmys, NAACP Image Awards, and of course the Black Reel Award for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series. Her impact as a stabilizing, loving mother figure in films and television has made her a key figure and an unforgettable woman in the Black culture. Thank you to the amazing Jennifer Lewis for her contributions and for being the mother we all had in our favorite films and television shows.
Tune in to The Truth as we celebrate the greatness of Black women all month long. The celebration of women's history on The Truth is sponsored by the Milwaukee Police Department.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a job? Direct Connect MKE is a social media style platform that empowers you to grow your social network, find career opportunities, and connect with career specialists for success. Visit joindcmke.com today to learn how you can create a profile, upload your resume, and find access to information about jobs, job training, hiring events, and more. DCMKE is locally focused and equips you to grow your social capital and find opportunities that match your career interests. Visit joindcmke.com today and connect your dream to reality.
The traffic and weather update on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth is sponsored by the City of Milwaukee's Direct Connect MKE. Make connections and explore career opportunities by visiting directconnectmke.com. So far, looking pretty good across the area. We do have one accident on the ramp from Layton Avenue to southbound 94, so watch out for that. Things building up a little bit on 94 eastbound right past 68th Street. For the most part, everything else is looking pretty good, though we are seeing that building volume. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny, breezy, mild, a high of 62. Tonight, partly cloudy and mild, a low of 46. With the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Julian Johnson. The Bucks win a game in LA as they defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 124-117 Sunday afternoon. Giannis and Damian Lillard become the first teammates in NBA history to have 20-plus points and 10-plus assists in back-to-back games. The Bucks face the Sacramento Kings Tuesday. Tip-off at 9 and pregame coverage at 8:30 on our sister station 620 WTMJ. The Brewers lost to the Colorado Rockies 3-1 Sunday afternoon. They play again Tuesday against the Chicago Cubs at 8:05 p.m. The UWM Panthers play the North Kentucky Norse in the Barbasol Horizon League semifinal today. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. right here on 101.7 The Truth. This sports update is presented by Associated Bank, proudly supporting our hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
God don't like ugly, I ain't one to judge.
Okay. I didn't know about that one, Kyle. That's not our era. Is that 2 Chainz?
Killer Mike, he all A.
Oh, he Killer Mike. Okay. I haven't heard his new stuff anyway.
Killer Mike about 52. So
That's right. Speaking of black-owned businesses, the Black-Owned Business Give Back is back. We have again teamed up with Associated Bank to help local black businesses grow and succeed together. The home of Milwaukee Black Talk will be giving away $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising for 3 months to 5 black businesses each quarter of 2024. To sign up for this incredible marketing opportunity, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member FDIC.
Good morning, Truth Nation. You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. Hope you are having a great start to the new week and you are enjoying the additional daylight from our clocks moving up 1 hour over the weekend. Now, before break, we were talking about MPS, Milwaukee Public Schools, are going to be presenting in the form of a referendum question on the upcoming April 2nd ballot. So if you are a Milwaukee resident, Milwaukee taxpayer, the proposed referendum will seek an increase in revenue and will ask voters for a 4-year phased-in revenue limit increase totaling $252 million. The last referendum for MPS was in 2020, which was also a 4-year phased referendum, and that was in the amount of $87 million. And this year marks the last year that the $3 million in extra funded will be allocated. So now it is time, Milwaukee, to vote yay or nay for this new referendum. MT on the YouTube message board, and as Telly had mentioned earlier, you can stream and watch all of us, all your favorite Truth Nation radio personalities on YouTube. You can watch Telly and I right now and engage with us through the YouTube message boards, the 101.7 YouTube message boards. MT says, yay for the referendum. Quality of education for Milwaukee's future is way more important than pro sports. The Brewer situation is another example of corporate welfare.
And Core hit us up, DT, on the Truth Talk to Text line. You can as well, 833-212-1017. Core says, it's amazing to me how people volunteer themselves to be tax slaves. This whole taxing was only supposed to last 1 year to stimulate the economy, and 100 years later, here we are being taxed on every little thing we do. No thanks to pay for someone else's kid or this stupid baseball team. I would like to keep all my money and decide where it goes. Core, tell us how you really feel this Monday morning.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not mad at Core for that message. My only question, and this is for all Truth Nation, because a lot of times when we get pushback regarding tax increases, when I say pushback, I mean, people who will either call or text us and say, I'm not with that. I feel you. Because nobody wants to be taxed. Okay?
Yep.
If nobody wants to be taxed.
No one.
However, my only question to you, Core, and to others who are in disagreement with this is, there's two things that we're going to have to do as Americans. Stay black and pay taxes. Those are two things that just are non-negotiable. So when you say you want to keep all your money and decide where it goes, my question, and I'm not even being shady, I'm so being like legit, I'm trying to understand, then why do you live here? Because anywhere in this country, you are going to have to pay taxes, and taxes are, seriously, they are designed to support public services, including public education.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're against taxes, then what's the alternative? How do we fund? I get not feeling increase and significant increase, but when you say things like, I want to keep all my money, decide where it goes, then how are we funding teachers?
It's going to end up going
schools?
Somewhere else. If it doesn't go to the baseball team or MPS, guess what, Core? You go get taxed some other way. You got to live somewhere. It's called property taxes. Those are always going to exist.
Well, and I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
What would be the turn? Now, on the Truth Talking text line, PC says, they forever raising taxes on everyone, even the ones without kids. It's crazy that we have to foot the bill and struggle as a single, if that's the case, stop federal or state tax, because there's no way single or retired people are paying and struggling to foot these bills. I'm all for education, but make it equal out across the board, or at least the bottom working class or retired people shouldn't be footing the bill and still struggling. Now, see, that's a valid argument.
Yeah. You can see it on both sides. I was just thinking about this when you were reading that, DT. It would be a different thing if there was a referendum that was on the table to be voted on to increase teacher salaries. Wouldn't you look at that much differently than
this is supposed to go towards teachers'
this is
salary.
to save jobs. This isn't to enhance their salaries, is it?
Let me keep reading, but go ahead. Please complete your thought.
So that is my point. It's always the scare tactic. We got to do this, or we're not going to be able to keep jobs. We're not going to be able to do this, or things won't be the way that it is. Does it? I see that you're finished reading. Does this include a salary increase for teachers?
Now, Telly, you bring up a good point. So how will the referendum money, well, let me back up, because this is a very important topic and I want to be factual. So how did MPS use the funds it received in the last referendum? So again, we reported that in the spring of 2020, taxpayers of Milwaukee approved a referendum for MPS of $87 million. And to answer your question, Telly, this is how those dollars were allocated. Number one, early childhood education and reduced class sizes. Number two, attracting and retaining certified educators. Number three, professional support staff such as psychologists, social workers, and school counselors. Number four, meeting educational standards for programming in library, art, music, and physical education. Number five, expanding access to advanced educational programming opportunities, and last but most certainly not least, comprehensive career and technical education. So none of those were.
Let's just
but
say
the truth talking text line is going bananas. So I'm gonna let you handle that. It's going. And Kyle, I didn't hear that, so if you could repeat that, thank you. But yes, we're gonna come back, and Telly's gonna read to y'all these. Y'all keep them coming. We want to hear from you. We also want to hear your voice. We've got a caller. Don't hang up. Let's pay some bills really quick. We're going to take your calls. We're going to read these texts. The Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. This is the best morning show on planet Earth. Again, caller, hang tight. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's Dr. Ken Harris, and you can watch me now live on YouTube every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m., and you can watch the best radio show in Wisconsin by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Watch me explore the issues which are shaping our community while also having fun discussions, pop culture, current events, all kind of stuff going on right here on YouTube right now by subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So in reviewing some of our recent data from the Wisconsin Maternal Mortality Review Team, we found that pregnancy-associated deaths disproportionately affected birthing people who were between the ages of 20 and 29, had high school education or less, were enrolled in Medicaid at the time of death, or who lived in urban areas. About 97% of the pregnancy-related deaths were preventable. And finally, one last thing that I'll share is that we see that Black birthing people are dying at higher rates than white people. And that is something that we cannot ignore. So when you ask what is the state of Black maternal health in Wisconsin, I would say we are still in a state of crisis. We're seeing great work. We're seeing things moving in the right direction, but we still have much work to do. Much of what we see is preventable. And that's why it's very important to continue to have these discussions.
Behind every minority and woman-owned business is a dream. Sometimes growing that dream takes extra funding. The Associated Bank Community Uplift Loan is here to turn your business dreams into reality. Apply online and get up to $50,000 in as little as one business day. With competitive rates and more accessible credit score requirements, we're making it easier than ever to fuel your company's growth. Let us uplift your business with the support it deserves. Visit associatedbank.com/uplift to learn more. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Dr. Ken Harris will be speaking with the Milwaukee Police Department Detective Tiffany about her journey through law enforcement and why she hopes to inspire others to give back to their community. Again, that is the Community Spotlight with the Milwaukee Police Department this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Be the MVP of gift giving with a Milwaukee Bucks gift card. From exhilarating Bucks experiences to unforgettable Fiserv Forum events, your gift card recipient can score tickets to Bucks games and other events through the Ticketmaster box office. Shop exclusive gear at the Bucks Pro Shop or get a favorite snack at Fiserv Forum's concessions. It's a win-win gift that lets them choose their experience. To purchase a gift card, visit bucks.com/giftcards.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let's lay where the love is like. I put that on my mama, on my hood. I look fly.
Truth Nation, the award-winning 1017 The Truth proudly celebrates Women's History Month. Tune in all March as we celebrate the remarkable achievements of women throughout history. Follow The Truth on Facebook and Instagram as our own Carrie Noni will interview history makers and share inspiring stories of the excellence of Black women. 1017 The Truth celebration of Women's History Month is sponsored by the Milwaukee Police Department.
Milwaukee taxpayers, good morning. Y'all may have to pay some more money.
You say they woke up this morning, huh? When you hear that.
Yeah, man. April 2nd is going down. Good morning, Maria. Thank you for holding. You are live with DT and Telly on the best morning show on planet Earth. What is your question or comment?
Hi. First of all, I was listening to you guys, and I wanted to say two things. The one, I am a former Milwaukee Public Schools teacher, so I want to say the why the money is needed. Despite the increases that have been given, despite even some of the COVID money, I'm here to tell you firsthand that money does not trickle down into the schools to help make education better, because what we hear as teachers when we want some of the latest, curriculum is it's not in the budget. So I'm not sure what's going on this time, but I can tell you I've been teaching 20 plus years in the city, and I'm exiting now to see if it's something different. It doesn't happen. The how we can get some of this money back is we could go to the administrative building where it's called it's like the principal graveyard and retired graveyard. So principals who aren't effective, they go to the administrative building and they have their salaries raised. People who've been retired are allowed to come back into the district and double dip. So before we ask citizens to pay for that, maybe the district should be really accountable for some of the money they've gotten instead of just kind of making the taxpayers pay. Last thing is some of the kids who are people who are having to pay the taxes, right? It's okay, but if it's truly to now it's just to save teachers' jobs. Well, we didn't make the decisions that put us in the hole. So administratively, I think that's where the problem is. And so I think some of them should have to have those salaries decreased and get rid of some of the retirees that have returned and then come to the taxpayers.
See, this is what, Maria, thank you so much for your call. This is why I love when people call in, because I did not realize there was a double dipping situation going on. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then then the excuse is, well, we have a shortage of teachers. But wasn't some of those funds, one of those criteria or things they were supposed to go to was to attract and retain teachers? But instead, what you'll do is like, oh, we don't have any teachers. No one wants to teach. So let's go to a retired teacher who is already getting their retirement. And then they come back and they get more salary. Like you said, it's double dipping. And on top of that, another great point that Marie just brought up, and I'm so glad that she said it, is a lot of times when you hear this number, you hear this, oh, wow, they got $87 million. And then you start to hear where it allegedly went. It never trickles down to the day-to-day operations. It always seemed like it get caught in that mid or that high level of decision-making where the people that is supposed to impact the most get the least.
When we come back from break, I know Al on the Truth Talking text line 833-212-1017 had his perspective or had their perspective, and also co-signed on what our caller Marie just said. Maria, so we're going to get into that when we come back. You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
2024 is a presidential election year, but there is so much more on the ballot. You will decide who will be Milwaukee's next mayor, county executive, district attorney, alderpersons, and so many more elected positions. At the award-winning 1017 The Truth, we are dedicated to keeping you informed by having insightful discussions on policies which will impact you. Never miss any of our election coverage by listening back on our Election Central podcast tile found on the 1017 The Truth app. Download the Truth app today in Google Play and Apple Store.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Ashley Lucas, VP and Business Lending Product Manager at Associated Bank. Ashley and I will discuss why fraud prevention should be a priority for your small business and provide you with some great tips on how to avoid becoming a victim of fraud. So again, that's the Business Spotlight with Associated Bank this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Come see Thanalysis live from Potawatomi Casino Hotel on Friday, March 22nd.
Hey, welcome to another Thanalysis show. And we do well coming on in today's podcast.
Be there for the first ever live show for Thanasis as he's joined by his brother, none other than the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I took off my shoes and I was like, go crazy, go hoop. That's all it was.
Tickets are on sale soon at GALiveshow.com. Thanalysis live at Potawatomi Casino Hotel on March 22nd. GALiveshow.com.
It's that time of year, y'all. A cough here, a sneeze there, and everyone around you seems to have the sniffles? You've got to get some Soulful Juice. Founded in 2020 with ginger shots and branching off into lemonades and juices, Soulful Juice started during the pandemic in an effort to bring quality and wellness to our bodies. Embracing natural juices with no preservatives, Soulful Juice prides themselves on meeting you where you are in your health journey. Give your immune system the boost it needs and join the Soulful movement. Visit soulfuljuice.com today.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Join the livest radio show in Milwaukee, Nothing But the Truth with Melanie Ricks. Listen every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Like we always do at this time, I go for mine, I get to shine, and throw your hands up in the sky. Go for mine, I get to shine, now throw your hands up in the sky.
I don't know why you turn the volume down. You know I'm gonna let this ride. Hey, 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 hey. What? I'm good. Speaking of being good, y'all. We've been talking about Milwaukee Public Schools. They are going to be proposing a referendum on the April 2nd ballot, which will seek an increase in revenue limits for MPS, specifically asking voters for a 4-year phased-in revenue limit increase totaling $252 million. Again, this referendum question will be on the April 2nd ballot. Now, back in 2020, which was the last time that MPS had a referendum, MPS received $87 million, which was phased over 4 years. So now we are up for a new referendum, according to MPS. Now, Telly asked a great question in terms of, hey, how's this money being used? We walked through that. We had a caller, a former MPS teacher, retired, who brought to my attention something that I had no clue. So Telly and I were talking about this over the break. So check this out. And again, I did not know this. Maria just shared with us that if you are a retired MPS teacher, you're already getting 100% health benefits. You're already, the retirement package for MPS teachers, from what I understand, is nice. Mm-hmm. Now, what's happening, based on what Maria shared, is that these retired teachers are coming back, and while they are on, for lack of better words, pension, retirement, they are now teaching and getting paid. Now, here's why I got a problem with that. Why do you allow teachers who are probably over the age of 55 to double dip when that money could be allocated towards younger teachers who are more relatable, because even whether it's a 5-year-old kindergarten or an 18-year-old high school senior, I'm going to relate more from a day-to-day teacher-student relationship with somebody who's closer to my age than somebody who's 55 and retired, or over 55 and retired. Why are we allowing retired teachers to double dip? Because for me, if you are retired and you know the circumstances of how monies are allocated, and you know the opportunities that we're facing, crowded classrooms, lack of quality teachers, lack of teachers, having to remove arts programs, extracurricular activity programs so that a retired teacher can come back and double dip. Why don't you volunteer? That's what a lot of retired people do when they're getting great benefits. Yeah. They volunteer.
And I was thinking that's another way of paying it forward. How can you build the next generation of good teachers if they don't have any blueprints or models to follow other than hopefully they have had a couple of good teachers throughout their lives and they just try to emulate that? But wouldn't it be nice for someone that did 30 years to come in a couple of days out of week and just be a teacher's aide or say, hey, these are the things that I was doing to be successful. Maybe this will help you out.
And you know what, Telly? I know for a fact that there are teachers who do that are like in their 70s, 80s, and just who are committed, who are passionate and committed to providing quality education. So kudos to those individuals. Thank you for your servant leadership and your dedication. However, when you have people who are double dipping, that's where it becomes problematic. Now, on the Truth Talking text line, Al shared, which is, by the way, 833-212-1017. So feel free to call or text. Al on the Truth Talking text line says, unfortunately, at this point, I am a nay in regards to this referendum vote. I actually agree with the op-ed that the president of Northwestern Mutual published. I have always supported these types of referendums and supported the last one. I have an 11-year-old in private school. These referendums are always so vague that the funds rarely end up where they initially say it's going to go. I need an audit and need to know how the last funds were spent. It is really about accountability for me, and the superintendent and leadership are paid, but it is not getting to where it needs to be. Show me some progress and that you're good stewards of what you have. Man, Al, I wish you would have called in and said that. That was a lot for me to read, but that's okay. I had to abbreviate because it was a powerful it was a powerful op-ed.
Yeah.
I would have loved to hear your voice, but yes, Al is definitely nay and brings up some valid points.
Yes, Al definitely bring up some valid points, and I think these type of asks or referendums can go a lot further if you have receipts on what happened the last time. Now, you can sit here and say, hey, April 2nd, you need to vote yes for this $252 million referendum. Teachers will be able to keep their jobs, and this will happen, that will happen. And then once it gets passed, you don't hear anything else. But it would be good for them to come and this time around say, hey, you recall the $87 million we got in 2020 over a 4-year span. Well, that's about to run out. But with those funds, we were able to get new textbooks. We were able to do this. We were able to do that. Yeah, we weren't able to do everything we wanted to do, but we did start on this. We haven't heard anything, but basically that $87 million is out. And we need some more money, or teachers are going to get cut. And it's not that cut and dry. When people are debating if they are going to be willing to pay $450 extra dollars on their property taxes, these are some of the questions that are valid questions that should have answers provided for them.
I completely agree. And, to further validate but underscore what you shared, Al also had said that it's about accountability for me. The superintendent and leadership are paid, but it is not going to where it needs to be. I would also be more willing to support if MPS could show how they are making progress, but it's getting worse. So here's the thing. Taxpayers with this referendum, obviously, if they're not a parent of a public school student or a teacher, folks in Milwaukee are like, I'm not with this.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's not that I have a problem paying more taxes to support these predicted or so-called needs, but we're not seeing any progress.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just some receipts. You don't have to let us know down to the final cent of everything that's going on, because we know people have to get paid for their services. But let's at least say, okay, roll this out in a presentation. Mm-hmm. We were able to do this. We started on this. We're trying to do this. We have visions of doing that. But to just say we need this money, or teachers are going to, there's a percentage of teachers that are going to lose their jobs, that's not enough information. And people, especially if it's not affecting them directly, they're not going to take an interest in it.
Exactly. Now, speaking of education, you think it's just within MPS? This goes right up into post-secondary higher education. If you have not heard, and it just reading this out loud, Telly, I'm just shaking my head. You got to be kidding me. A Republican state Senate panel. So Republicans on the state Senate panel, Truth Nation, have recommended against confirming 2 members of the University of Wisconsin Board of Regents who voted against a diversity-related funding deal last year. So if you recall, and Telly and I spent many hours talking about how Republicans who currently hold a 22-10 majority in the state Senate in Milwaukee. Basically, and because this is the truth, I'm just going to say my truth. Brokered a deal led by Assembly Speaker Robin Vos that would end funding for positions throughout the entire UW system. So UW La Crosse, UW Milwaukee, UW Madison, that was devoted to diversity, equity, inclusion, or DE&I. In exchange, Vos agreed to pay raises for university staff and funding for UW building projects. Well, the majority of the regents voted against the first iteration. And then when Robin Vos, Assembly Speaker, came back with that deal.
On a Saturday, too, by the way, DT.
On a Saturday. Then it was finally passed. Now, there were 2 Board of Regent members that stuck to their commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion. And during the second time on a Saturday, to Telly's point, remained against the deal. Well, now the Senate Committee on Universities and Revenue voted 5-3 to reject John Miller and Dana Wax, who were the Board of Regent members that rejected both times. So basically, the Assembly Speaker, Robin Vos, and the other Republicans on the state Senate panel are now punishing 2 members of the Board of Regents for doing the right thing.
And that was promised then. We reported it. It was promised then that if you went against this, there could be consequences for doing it. And those 2 people that you named, who appointed them, DT? I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Governor Evers. A Democratic governor. And you have these Republicans that said, okay, if you're not going to be down with what we want you to be down with, you're going to be out of there. And it may not happen now. It'll happen later. And guess how the media treats it, the overall general media treats it. Last week, just heard a report. Oh, there's new construction starting, and it's part of the $800 million that was passed. But they don't talk about these 2 people that are about to lose their 6-figure jobs.
Oh yeah,
Six-figure paying jobs.
We'll build pretty new buildings as long as we keep those colored people off campus. Now we can really make the campus look good. And by the way, Senate President Chris Kapanga, Republican out of Delafield, to your point, had hinted on social media during the time of this second vote that their votes could cost them their positions on the board. What kind of democracy is that? To where, so is that even legal? The fact that you even say it publicly?
Who's going to say something about it? I mean, again, what did you say the white-only signs are being replaced with?
Legislation. And at the end of the day, this has everything to do with, I feel like I'm losing my power. You've got way too many black and brown people or people of color winning.
And guess who's
you got too many of them. You got way too many of them wanting to integrate with white students and talk about slavery and talk about being, aware of a lot of things that are going to infringe upon our ability to control a demographic or a population.
Yeah. And guess who's going to be heralded as a hero if he wants to do something else, run for another political office?
Who?
Robin Voss. Because he'll say, I was the one that spearheaded the $800 million to improve our University of Wisconsin system, and by building new buildings and making the salaries more competitive with other states and other universities around this country. I was the one to do that. Never going to mention what it costs to do those things.
Dear UW Board of Regents John Miller and Dana Wax, if you're listening, let me just ask you to consider the following. I don't want to be a part of any organization's board, staff, administration, let alone be a student on a campus where I'm not wanted, where my values and standards do not align with the overall mission of the organization. So let them let you go. Why would I even want to remain on this board of regents, knowing that, number one, it is clear that you do not want to embrace difference. If you are not white, we're going to make it very difficult for you to thrive. Because here's the thing, when you use words like, this is reverse racism or this is reverse discrimination. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought racism doesn't exist. It's over. Mm-hmm. So how is it reverse if it's over? And second of all, there is, if people of color are becoming so powerful and so righteous, then why are we having to be, why do we get fired and there's no accountability?
No.
Because the powers that be know that they have the powers that be. And like you said, Telly, so here's the thing. UW, Madison, Milwaukee, La Crosse, is it Oshkosh?
Eau Claire, Stout,
Eau Claire?
Stevens Point. There's a million. Parkside.
Look, it is clear the state has spoken. The state legislation has spoken. Now, Telly, if you said, Kyle, I will make a $100 million donation if y'all fire Denise from The Truth. It's one thing for you to even say that, but if Cherie said, or Craig, the owner of Good Karma Brand, said, yep, we'll take it, I ain't mad at you. I'm mad at Craig, and I'm mad at Cherie for even accepting that type of deal. So I say all that to say, Robin Voss has consistently shown this state of Wisconsin how he feels about non-white people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be mad at him. You need to really redirect and understand, how is he able to do this? Isn't he an elected official? When we come back from break, we want to hear more from you. The Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. Again, why are you mad at Trump? Trump didn't just walk into the White House and say, I'm here. He was elected. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Coming with straight truth.
I'm not saying cut the person off and don't give them any money at all. I'm saying it has to be earned. This just dropping loot and giving it to people is weird to me, because that's why in many cases we're in the predicament we are. That's why usually 5 years after people get money from a death in the family, they're broke. And all I can say, there's a reason for that.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.heat.help.
All insurance companies, they want to know where are your cars housed.
Right.
They want to know how far are you driving to get to and from work every day. They want to know all these different things for weather patterns. Are you living in northern Wisconsin, or are you living down in Tornado Alley somewhere in Kentucky? These things make a difference as to how your insurance rates are formed. I need you to be factual, and every single time somebody commits these different frauds, it all adds up, and everybody ends up paying the price for it down the road.
Erie Insurance, providing the protection you need and the service you expect, all at a great price.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Dr. Ken Harris will be speaking with the Milwaukee Police Department Detective Tiffany about her journey through law enforcement and why she hopes to inspire others to give back to their community. Again, that is the Community Spotlight with the Milwaukee Police Department this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The Milwaukee Panthers have advanced to the semifinals of the Horizon League tournament. They head to Indianapolis Monday night as they are set to take on the Northern Kentucky Norse.
Reverse dunk for Big Lang.
Scott Warris has the coverage Monday starting at 8 o'clock on 1017 The Truth and the Educators Credit Union Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield.
Stewart for three, and he buries it from the right wing, and there is always room for Jell-O.
Tip-off happens at 8:30. It is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
That's why they developed their empowerment loan program to help give people of color and women-owned businesses equal access to funds up to $5 million. This substantial commitment shows that Old National Bank truly believes that every small business deserves the opportunity to change their community in a big way. Learn more today by visiting oldnational.com/empowerment loan. Old National Bank, get old. All loans are subject to credit approval. Minimum loan amount, $25,000. What did I say? Minimum loan amount, $25,000. Additional program qualifications or restrictions may apply. For full details, contact an Old National Small Business Banker. Before break, we were talking about decisions. Boy, when you got to make decisions that no longer require integrity, but are based on an agenda, where are we heading? And my question is, Telly, where are we heading because if you think about it, we talked about the MPS referendum, which a number of our listeners do not agree with. Keywords including lack of accountability. I don't see where this money is going. I don't see any improvements based on what they said. And so a lot of folks seem as though in Milwaukee, when they go to vote on April 2nd, unless they have a child that's an MPS student or part of MPS staff, they are voting no.
Yeah. It's a hard referendum to pass. I said that when we first started, when we introduced this topic, I just said it's going to be a tough sell when, again, you don't have any receipts to make people even interested in wanting to help or be a part of the solution. Some people may look at it as like, I don't have more money to donate. And you brought up a great point within the article about the people with fixed income. When you have a fixed income, it's called fixed. It's going to stay that way. It's not going to go up because other things go up. It's fixed. So it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell.
And on top of that, when we go up to our state capital in Madison, once I graduate from MPS, I got to deal with the fact that you've got legislators who are intentionally making decisions to make me, as a person of color, feel as though I don't belong on a predominantly white campus.
Yeah.
And then you go up to the highest court, the third most powerful branch in our government. So you've got executive, i.e. President of the United States, legislative, the U.S. Senate, the House of Representatives, and then you go into the judicial branch, which is our Supreme Court. And even at that level, they have said no more DE&I. So this country as a whole, locally, state, and at the national level, the third most powerful branch in our government is letting people of color know, slowly but surely, we are making sure that you do not become a race of power, influence, education. Because think about it. Did you see where they are now threatening TikTok? Because TikTok is a Chinese-based company. It's owned by a company in China.
Mm-hmm.
Not Meta, not Twitter. It is a Chinese-owned company. And so a lot of Republicans are saying that, hey, this is a national security issue. Chinese-owned company. They have access to our data.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know how I am, Telly. I'm going to peel the onion layer back. So right now, I'm doing some informal investigative reporting to see how many women and people of color have profited off of TikTok.
Well, I'm definitely interested in those results when you get those. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I understand it correctly, I think they have until the end of this week for the Chinese-based the Chinese based owner of TikTok to sell to someone else. Yeah. Apparently, they're not feeling whoever is in charge of this now. And a lot of Republicans have said if it does reach the point where it's a bill to ban TikTok, most of them will definitely try and do that. But like you said, while you're peeling, I'm sure you're going to find some other information about how the relationship between us and China plays a major part in it, because anything that's making money for everybody, that's usually not a problem. It's usually a problem when, it's not that.
Now check this out, Telly. This is your co-host doing her investigative stuff. Less than 6 months ago, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, owner Elon Musk tweeted, DEI must die.
Mm-hmm.
About actually less than a year ago, Mark Zuckerberg, whose parent company Meta owns Facebook and Instagram, was put on trial. Well, was put on a congressional hearing where parents were threatening, were not threatening. Parents filed numerous complaints that Facebook, Instagram, so social media basically, was creating mental health issues for younger people. Now, again, Elon Musk, he's never been summoned by the U.S. Senate or Congress. And he tweeted, in all caps, by the way, just in case you missed it, DEI must DIE. That was his exact tweet in all bold capital letters. DEI must DIE.
Sounds like he has some others that agree with him.
So you do the math. I mean, Elon Musk was like, y'all ain't about to come for me on this stuff. I'm about to make y'all understand. I'm on y'all's team. I agree. DE&I must die, so leave me alone. Okay, thanks, Elon.
Yep, you're good.
You're good. You know how to follow the instructions. You understand the assignment. So all I'm saying is this, and I'm trying not to become a conspiracy theorist, but when you see conspiracy taking place, when you see legislation at both a local, state, and national or federal level conspiring to remove what they deem as too many of these people are getting too much power. So Telly, I don't know if you can tell, but I mentioned this to you. I'm currently at the American Club in Kohler, Wisconsin. And last night, when I arrived, I turned on the television. And you know, in most hotels, when you turn on the television, the default channel, it's usually a channel that will give you some history or background regarding the hotel's establishment.
With the little music underneath, the soft music, and yeah.
Telly, you know what is so crazy? If I close my eyes and just listen versus watching the video and the audio. So when you come to the American Club in Kohler, they're going to play a video that says, you know, back in it was either the late 1700s or the early 1800s. And this is the exact verbiage. Like, you could literally close your eyes. And it was like, when a number of immigrants from Poland and Germany migrated to the United States, they had very little money, if at all any. And basically the person that built the American Club, the reason why it's called the American Club is because they took pride in providing housing and food so that immigrants could have proper, health care in terms of housing and food while they were getting on their feet. And so thus it was named the American Club. You are now in America.
You start living your dream.
Start living your dream as immigrants that have come to this country. Here is a place where you can stay until you get on your feet. As I'm watching and listening, I'm thinking, and now in 2024, everything that basically made this country in terms of immigration, because remember, see, black folks, we didn't migrate. We were stolen. Everybody else had a chance with 10 cents in their pocket. Because when you go to Northside Milwaukee, Telly, and you see all these older homes that have like 10 bedrooms, those homes were built for immigrants. Because most immigrants, when they came, they brought their entire family, and they needed to have all those houses in Northside Milwaukee that are like 3, 4, 5 levels. 10 bedrooms that, either now are being refurbished or demolished and rebuilt. The history of making sure that immigrants who came from Poland, who came from Germany and other European countries had what they needed in order to get going. And now in 2024, that seems to be a problem for this country. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sounds like we've already
problem.
gotten what we wanted, and now it's all right. It's all good.
Truth Nation, the Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. And this is just what I saw. These weren't my words. This is what I saw. How do you feel about what's going on at a local, state, and national level based on what we've covered today? Because this is a presidential election year. And as I've said before, they are replacing whites-only signs with legislation. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Denise Thomas with her truth.
Abundance, prosperity. Those are just two words to describe what I want to experience in this thing called life. I am committed to winning and helping others win. And what I'm realizing as part of that journey of abundance, success, and increase, I'm going to have to get more complete with using the word no. There is power in saying and using the word no. And what's even more incredible about the word is that it's universal. No matter where I am in this world, everyone understands the meaning of no. And the importance of saying no is not about rejecting others. It's not about creating barriers between you and someone else. It's more about making sure that as part of our self-care and building our wealth and our abundance, that we are able to say no to things, people, or places that are not part of that journey. There's been an amplified focus in our community regarding our mental health and our self-care and just valuing ourselves more. And a lot of us associate the word yes with being perceived as someone who is supportive. I want to challenge you as well as myself to continue to embrace your focus on mental health, continuing to embrace your focus on self-care. And in addition to that, ignite your ability as part of your self-care to demonstrate confidence and strength by setting boundaries and simply using your power of using and saying the word no.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
My name is Adrienne, and I was hurt in a car accident. What Gruber Law Office has done for me was made me feel safe. It didn't cost me anything, just one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a job? Direct Connect MKE is a social media style platform that empowers you to grow your social network, find career opportunities, and connect with career specialists for success. Visit joindcmke.com today to learn how you can create a profile, upload your resume, and find access to information about jobs, job training, hiring events, and more. DCMKE is locally focused and equips you to grow your social capital and find opportunities that match your career interests. Visit joindcmke.com today and connect your dream to reality.
The traffic and weather update on the award-winning 1017 The Truth is sponsored by the City of Milwaukee's Direct Connect MKE. Make connections and explore career opportunities by visiting directconnectmke.com. Well, we got an accident now, eastbound 94, right in the stadium interchange off on the right shoulder, so heads up with that. We are seeing delays from 84th Street through the stadium itself. Westbound 894, backing up from about 27th Street through the Loomis area, pretty much all the way to 68th Street. That's where it starts to open up. Everywhere else is looking pretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly sunny, breezy, mild with a high of 62. Tonight, partly cloudy and mild, a low of 46. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Julian Johnson. The Bucks won a game in LA as they defeated the Los Angeles Clippers 124-117 Sunday afternoon. Giannis and Damian Lillard become the first teammates in NBA history to have 20-plus points and 10-plus assists in back-to-back games. The Bucks face the Sacramento Kings Tuesday. Tip-off at 9 and pregame coverage at 8:30 on our sister station 620 WTMJ. The Brewers lost to the Colorado Rockies 3-1 Sunday afternoon. They play again Tuesday against the Chicago Cubs at 8:05 p.m. The UWM Panthers play the North Kentucky Norse in the Barbasol Horizon League semifinal today. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. right here on 101.7 The Truth. This sports update is presented by Associated Bank, proudly supporting our hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
All my life. Truth Nation, join the Truth Team on Saturday, April 13th for our third annual Tory Low Community Cleanup. We want you to go to truthcommunitycleanup.com to sign up to be a volunteer to help keep Milwaukee clean. Everyone who joins gets a free lunch provided by Cousin Subs. Register today at truthcommunitycleanup.com. That is truthcommunitycleanup.com to clean and beautify our city together. The Truth Community Cleanup is sponsored by Cousin Subs.
We've been talking about education, access to education at both the local, state, and national level. There's been a lot of changes, and in local news, MPS is going to propose a referendum on the April 2nd ballot, which would ask for $252 million to be allocated towards pretty much everything but teachers' pay. And so, Truth Nation, we see y'all are blowing up both the Truth Talk and text line, which is 833-212-1017. Melissa Andy, and please, if I butchered that, Melissa Andy, I beg your pardon, says on the Truth Talk and text line, if we don't pass the referendum, the kids suffer. Why do we never say what they do, that they shouldn't feed kids, dress kids, counsel kids whose parents aren't doing their job? Please be aware that every district is asking for money. If we say no, our kids will continue to be low. So the education poll. I may have misread that.
No, you didn't. You didn't misread it. I do. At the end, she does make a great point because there are other school districts that are asking for money. I think I saw Greendale is asking for $12.9 million. It's not as much as the 252, but you're not hearing reports that if they don't get these referendums, teachers' jobs are going to be cut in these other districts. So every district is under different guidelines or different circumstances. So I don't know if that's a fair thing to say that, well, every district is asking for it. If you don't give it to them, then none of them are going to work. Not true, because, again, there's a reason why MPS, outside of the size of the district, that they're asking for so much money, and these other districts aren't asking for as much money because they feel like they need it.
Dan on the Truth Talking text line, Telly, says, well, it was funny because we had a bit of an exchange. He says, I'm not mad at the additional funds, nor am I mad at a retiree getting the extra money, but please ensure that all teachers are getting the proper compensation. It would be nice if MKE Rec could get a referendum too. Better yet, separate the department from MPS. So I asked Dan, me too. However, it's not going to be both. It's not going to be the retirees getting extra funds plus the teachers getting proper compensation. So if you had to choose, Dan, what would it be? Dan responded, proper compensation. So it appears as though we are not seeing teachers getting proper compensation, thus impacting having enough teachers in the pool to where now that's resulted in the overcrowding of classrooms, which impacts the teacher's ability to teach as well as the student's ability to learn. Don't nobody want to be sitting up in a classroom all stacked and racked up against 30,000 other kids. Come on now.
And a lot of times, DT, we have to understand that these things aren't separate. When you hear about there's never a referendum to increase teacher salaries, right? We've yet to hear one of those referendums. But when you hear the Milwaukee Common Council raising tax prices and the mayor and others are going to get a raise the next cycle, then people are like, well, why are they getting raises or this, that, the other? See, you have to make sure that all of this information that's being consumed has to make sense to people. Because basically, if I'm just a Truth Nation listener, I'm thinking, okay, so January 1, they want us to pay more in taxes for this, and that. And, oh, by the way, the mayor and others are going to get raises. But after receiving $87 million 4 years ago, we got to come back and ask for $252, and none of this includes a raise. As much as we know how bogus Robin Voss's DEI proposal and bill was, at least the teachers and professors got a raise in that. We never talk about teachers getting raises.
They got a raise to make sure that they don't talk about.
Right.
So that, to me, that's not a raise. That's like a threat.
They got more money, right? Yeah.
And shame on you for taking that blood money. We got Al. Good morning, Al. You are live with DT and Telly on the best morning show on planet Earth. What is your question or comment?
Well, my comment is this stuff that's going on is not nothing new. So I would encourage black people, show these people who they effing with. I mean, y'all always had the power. And a lot of this stuff go on. It comes from trying to seek validation and resources. And even with the little resources you had, you still had the opportunity to outperform these individuals. So maybe stop being the bigger person. Maybe stop seeking their validation. And maybe you could start back by giving them their God back. Because that so-called God who died on the cross for your sins, ain't none of that stuff fix anything on this earth. So when it comes to these people who do not like you for the color of your skin and who do not want to give you an opportunity, you let them know who they effing with by creating your own opportunity. So you could tell them, stick it where the sun don't shine. So when they all sit butt naked in that room, they're sipping their own wine. You got the power. Just stop seeking a validation.
Al, so what's your stance on this referendum? I don't know if I missed that part.
Well, first of all, on a referendum, call them to the forefront. Okay? That's what you got to do. So you're telling me you don't want us. Well, stop telling those kids to go to those colleges. Start educating your own.
All right.
You black people have been in majority of the stuff that's here. Why do you need their validation? Why do you need their help? Matter of fact, take their God that you follow, snatch them off the cross, beat them down, and put them back on the cross upside down, and let them know who the hell you effing with, and they will get the point. But you got to be willing to do that first, because you ain't never needed their resources. They needed you, and those are facts. Happy Monday.
Thank you so much, Al. There you have it. Al is definitely saying, look, if you don't want us, we'll go somewhere else and get our own education. Now, before we go to break, I know, Telly, we got to pay some bills. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up and start getting into our truth of the matter. This has been a very, very engaging show, Truth Nation. We appreciate y'all not only listening, but letting us know how you feel. Because, again, this station is called The What?
The
truth. So that's what we're going to talk about, our truth. Our truth.
And just because the powers that be aren't going to continue to talk about this, that is our responsibility and our duty to make sure that these things continue to be talked about, because a lot of times you hear about something and then you don't hear about it again until it's over with. And so we want to get you up to speed on everything that we know about and want to pass along. The award-winning 101.7 The Truth is also the home of Milwaukee Panthers basketball. Don't miss any of the hoops action by listening to Panthers basketball on 101.7 The Truth app, and all your favorite streaming platforms. The Panthers are hot right now, hot as fish grease, and they are in Indianapolis for the semifinal of the Horizon League tournament tonight. They are set to take on the Northern Kentucky Norse. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock with an 8:30 p.m. tip-off. If the Panthers win, they will be in the Horizon League Tournament Championship game. So we'll see if the Panthers can get it done tonight against Northern Kentucky, and we'll get it done on the other side of the break when we come back with our Truth of the Matter. Keep it locked right here on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy T. Smith, Marquette University Hall of Famer, former NBA player, and Milwaukee native. I want to make sure you don't miss any of my weekly appearances on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Tap in every Monday and Wednesday to the Tory Lowe Show from 1 to 2 as I bring all the smoke for the Pop Culture Report. Also, tune in every Wednesday as I join the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, where we talk current events, lifestyle, and everything Milwaukee. Milwaukee Black Talk. 101.7 The Truth.
Disability Rights Wisconsin's Medicare Part D helpline is here to help disabled elderly Medicare beneficiaries with questions about their Part D prescription benefit. The Part D helpline may be able to help you save money on your Part D premium, deductible, and copays. For free, unbiased assistance, please call the Disability Rights Wisconsin Medicare Part D helpline any time of the year at 1-800-926-4862. That's 1-800-926-4862.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Justice is about receiving what we deserve. Quote Audre Lorde, who said, "There is no such thing as a single-issue struggle because we do not live single-issue lives." And that said, any freedom, including reproductive freedom, is our human right to decide what is best for our own lives. Reproductive freedom is about having bodily autonomy, which is the same as being able to control what happens to our bodies, including the decision to continue or terminate a pregnancy, rests with the pregnant person at all times and in all circumstances. Because when rights don't apply to all individuals and at all times, they are not rights. They are not rights. And as Black people, our rights are conditional way too often, whether we're talking about during police encounters, quality housing, or, some job opportunity.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Whether you're an artist playing accountant, a barista trying to be a bean counter, or a student just looking to get started, the UW Credit Union app lets you be free to be you. With free credit scores, free online bill pay, and the ability to send money to friends. Because with fewer fees, you can do more of what you love. UW Credit Union, here for every you. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show as part of Bucks Plus.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on bucks.com/plus or download it now wherever you get your podcasts.
Truth Be Told with DT and Telly returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Come on, Cal, you got to do it.
Right. Do y'all know what it is?
I messed it up.
Man, come on, man.
Look, garbage in, garbage out. So our truth of the matter may be pretty weak. Thanks, Kyle. No, I'm just playing. You know what? I'm going to use my truth of the matter to just queue up tomorrow as part of Women's History Month. Because I know for people who are not necessarily fans of performing arts, which is fine, do not watch the Oscars. But there's a lot of us that don't watch the Oscars, quite frankly, because we're never celebrated, despite our extraordinary,
I fall in that
talented. Okay. So as part of Women's History Month, tomorrow we're going to be doing a special feature conversations on how the Oscars still put black people, and in particular black women, in boxes. Basically, every time a black woman has won either a Golden Globe, a Screen Actors Guild, or an Oscar, it was characters, people who played characters to in subservient roles to white people. So we're going to get into that tomorrow as part of Women's History Month. The black women that have won and the roles they have played and why that is. And what do we do as a race to make sure that powerful black actors and actresses are being honored and celebrated? That's my truth of the matter.
And my truth of the matter is, just like you have a right to vote, you have a right to ask questions. If people are asking you for more money or your vote for something, you have a right to ask what needs to be asked. And I'm going to the referendum that we talked about with MPS. It's on April 2nd. There will be a vote for a $252 million referendum. And this referendum is going to, well, they say it's going to keep jobs, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. But I think that's, again, an easier sell. I said this during the show. It's an easier sell when you have receipts from the last time you got money. And then people should be able to ask, okay, how is this being allocated to the places that you say that they're being allocated to, as opposed to we ran out of money and then now we need more. So again, I believe the Truth Nation, as a voting citizen, a tax-paying citizen, you have the right to ask those questions. So do it and exercise it.
All right, you heard it. You heard Telly's Truth of the Matter. Tomorrow we will be back. I'll be back live in the studio with Telly, so we're going to really bring the energy for you. Stay tuned. Sherwin Hughes up next. You are listening to the best morning show.
My bad. That was a long pregnant pause, DT.
Well, because, again, I got people in my ear. I got you. Go ahead, Telly. Close us out.
No. We got.
Please, in the name of Jesus, I'm asking you, close us out, please.
Well, when you say in the name of Jesus, I got to. That's right. You heard DT. We already got things lined up for you tomorrow. It's going to be another exciting show. We want you to make sure that you join us, not just tomorrow, but every day from 7 to 9 for the best morning show on the planet that is Truth Be Told. No more pregnant pauses. Up next is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Peace out.